Look, as far as playing Tennessee Tech, I thought our guys, man, showed tremendous character in the game to continue to fight, bite, and scratch, and against a very good team in obviously really poor weather. Not that we could control any of that, but in the second quarter, I thought we really did some great things, and had some good stuff going right there in the game. And to get the 3 turnovers was big for us. Obviously, we got to get our run game going. They're the number 1 defense in the nation, stop and run for a reason. But just was a little disappointed in our run game, and our inability to run the ball. But was proud to see just the way we finished the game. Zoltan get a little banged up there, and having Leck come in and make some plays, I thought was a good thing. And just the way we competed in the game, our guys really continue, I think, to improve. I mean, we those guys are scoring literally 55 points a game. We limited them to 27, and I think it was a hard-fought 27. So looking forward to making the trip this week to Macomb, playing Western Illinois. A team with Coach Davis that does some great things on offense, is really imaginative, and in the passing game and in the run game. And then from a defense standpoint, they're stingy. They play hard. They mix their fronts and do a lot of things that give you some problems. So it's a big challenge for us. But we just keep trying to refresh our guys as far as kind of their mindset and their just ability to sustain performance, but also just to get better, which they've done each and every week, I think, in practice and things. And so looking forward to this back half of the season and these 5 games, but certainly going to take one at a time.
Where do you see the biggest growth in this team since the start?
I think just, even from like last year's team, like this team just plays with more discipline. They play with more fortitude, toughness. We've played just a gauntlet of a schedule. I think we were comparing the records of the team. I think our opponents are like 28-15, and that's with probably half a dozen money games in there. You know what I'm saying? So when you say, hey, these guys are 28-10, the teams you've played, that's a pretty difficult schedule. And so we're not making excuses with that concern. We're just saying, looking at measurable things of how we're getting better, and I feel like just offensively we've been a little more productive within this season. We've certainly run the ball better, and just the number of players we've been able to play has been I think just a sign of the depth that we have at certain positions.
Zoltan good for Saturday?
Should be. It's he's like everybody right now. He's a little dinged up, and so we'll see how he progresses throughout the week.
Looking at Western, I know they're 0-3, right, in conference.
Mm-hmm.
Do you all kind of think of, all right, one of us is getting that first win, or how do you all kind of approach that?
Yeah, it's 2 similar teams. We feel like we should have won 1 2 weeks ago. They certainly feel like they should have won last week. We lost the games in similar fashions. So I think both teams are going to be incredibly hungry, and it's for us. It's just all about taking care of our business and doing our little things right here, and our guys want to win. That's the bottom line, and we can only do that 1 game at a time, and that involves 1 preparation at a time. Whether it's a weight room workout, whether it's going to class, going to treatment, and being at practice and meetings. We've had very few discipline problems. I think that's one of the big areas we've grown in is just I'm not running a lot of guys after practice for silly stuff. We've got mature men that have a lot of character, and man, they're hungry to compete, but hungry to try to win too.
Is there something you could take from Tennessee Tech? I think they dropped 65, 66 points on them. Is there something you could take from that? All right, well, they're susceptible to something, or was it just a bad day?
I don't know. I think you read a little bit too much into comparing common opponents sometimes, because we match up so much differently, and so I think for us it's just about us kind of getting better from last week to this week, and so we're just going to make it simple for our guys, trying to refresh their mind to say, hey, look, it's a 5-game season, but we can only play these games one at a time.
How do you match up with them?
Say it again.
How do you feel you match up with them?
I mean, we're a little bit of contrast in styles, They always say styles makes fights, right? They're, offensively what they do, they're very creative and imaginative, I think. And I think, we try to do some things defensively that are, mix it up. So I think it's going to be interesting, when it comes to that side of the ball. And I think offensively, we're kind of like comparable to their defense, what I'm saying? We try to, be straightforward in our approach and create big plays, and they do a good job of limiting the big plays and kind of bend but don't break and play very hard, tough, gritty defense. So, it's I don't know, to answer your question, like the matchup, I think two very similar teams in similar records and similar mindsets.
What offense do they run?
It's kind of it's a mix of a pro style. They use multiple formations and motions, and they've got a freshman quarterback that's playing. He's hot. He's played 2.5 games. He's got a high completion percentage. He's using a variety of receivers. They had Sports Sin top play. Last week against UT Martin, a great one-handed catch from one of their wideouts. So they got some good stuff. I mean, I got a lot of respect for what Coach Davis is throwing out there. It's good stuff. Gives you problems.
But, when your guys know that the playoffs are probably off the table this year, is motivation an issue at all, or is this team not motivated by that? Is it just the self-motivation to win every game individually?
Yeah, I think our guys really just want to win and compete, and so I think it's been a function of the way we've played. You know what I'm saying? We have played really, really hard, and we have laid it out there on the line. Every single week they continue to compete in the right way. And I think yesterday I was just talking to Coach Durfee, our strength coach. I said, all right, give me an assessment of the energy because it's best Monday we've had. I think all season, and the week before that was good. He goes, so we're the energy, the motivation, the leadership. It's all there. These guys feel like they got a lot to prove.
We've talked a lot about the success of your linebackers this season. What do they need to do on Saturday, and how confident are you in it?
We got to stop the run. I think we got to do that better than we did last week. Tennessee Tech rushed it for, I think, 240 on us, and that just is way too much. So I think there's a bit of a taste in our mouth that, hey, we got to knock out the run game. For us, it's such a mental thing for them, because we do play a variety of defensive schemes. They got to get the checks right. They got to communicate it. But it was awesome. I mean, Justin, had the pick in the game, and he's dropped, 2 or 3 picks this season, and he's been out after practice. Coach Johnson just throwing him ball after ball after ball after ball. So for him to, get his hands on the ball and catch it, was just so I think gratifying personally for him, and something that is a function of his hard work and character.
Sweet. How's the weather supposed to be there?
Not good.
Oh, no, not good.
Rain suits are getting a lot of action this week, or
Awesome.
last weekend this week. So.
Wait till I prepare.
Yeah.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.